friends. Welcome back to incredibly useful exercises for the double bass, where we condition specific aspects of our performance in short, stolen moments. Today, we explore the first of two fundamental technical exercises that serve as the root technique for velocity, flexibility, legato, and the sautille bow stroke. You'll get a lot of mileage out of these. Today, we'll study ribbits, and in the next episode, we'll explore Dig It Up, two of my favorite and most commonly taught exercises in this whole series. I want to thank Joey Nager for his generous support of this series. Joey has been my go-to luthier for over 5 years. He sculpted my fingerboards buzz-free on both my 1850 English orchestra bass and my solo bass, making them so easy to play, and his tone work on my basses keeps them sounding full, free, and beautiful. Many professional working bassists throughout Texas rely on Joey for fixing and maintaining their treasured instruments. The Joey Nager prize-winning basses are also wonderful instruments. Please visit Joey's website listed below, and if you happen to be in the Houston area, pay him a visit to play his basses and to see how he can improve the playability and tone of your instrument. Ribbits are 1 minute long, have high control and mindfulness ratings of 5. Velocity is 4, not because we play the exercise fast, but because it teaches us to play faster. Coordination is 3, and the rest are 0. We play ribbits for the development and exercise of a quick throwing and rebound motion from the right elbow, followed by a quick total relaxation of the right arm, and for the exercise and mastery of a fast elbow stroke. A ribbit is 2 quick notes. That's it. It sounds like ribbit. I can play a ribbit down bow or up bow. This little motion is my favorite way to teach velocity, flexibility, legato, and sautille. It's the Swiss Army knife of fundamental technical exercises. Want to play faster? Use a ribbit. Want to relax faster? Play some ribbits. Want to have more character in the running lines of your Baroque sonatas? Do your ribbits. The applications are never ending, which is why I still love to do these. The motion in a ribbit is this. I move my elbow to flex my wrist. My elbow is active, but my wrist is passive. Hold your arm up with your forearm flat, your thumb at 12 o'clock, and your wrist and fingers dead. And now, like Paul Ellison says, throw a frisbee. See how when I move my elbow that my wrist flops. On a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 1, totally tight, and this is a 10. Totally loose. When I play, I want my wrist to be around a 4 or a 5. Turn your arm over, moving your thumb to 6 o'clock for French bow. Remember, we call this pronating, supinate for German bow, and pronate for French bow. My wrist flops the same way when I move my elbow. Make sure that you're moving it with the hinge. If your hand is flat, then your wrist doesn't flex, it deviates. We don't want that. We want it to flex. So you French bow players, make sure that you pronate. So let's practice without the bow first. Hold your arm in your bowing position. Keep it in position, but let your fingers, forearm, bicep, and pectoral muscle go dead. We don't need them to move the elbow. Let's call this the dead position. We'll be here a lot. Now, when I say down, move your arm in a down bow direction and rebound back to the dead position. Throw and rebound. Keep your pec still. Let your wrist flop. When I say up, throw your arm in an up bow direction and rebound to the dead position. Notice the 3 parts to this: dead position, ribbit, dead position. How quickly can you return your muscles to a totally dead position after a throw? Let's practice that. Hold your arm up and wait for me to give you the direction. Don't anticipate, because that's a weakness and it can throw you off. Ready? Dead position, down. Dead position. Dead, up, dead. Did your pectoral flex? Try it again until you can keep it quiet. Okay, let's do a few more. You're responsible for returning your arm as quickly as you can to the dead position. Ready? Down, down, up, down, up, 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 down, up. Good. See how your bicep, forearm, fingers, and pectoral want to engage and snap? This is why we go back to dead after each one. Ribbits aren't effective if these muscles are tense between them. Keep them dead and soft. And now with the bow. I'll play an A on the D string because that's my favorite note for practicing right hand tricks. Dead, tighten, dead, down ribbit, dead, up ribbit, dead. Notice that the sound of the two notes are not equal. The first note is active and stressed, and the second note is passive and unstressed. This actually adds to the musicality, so don't try to make both notes the same. Now, let's apply the ribbit to a song. In Suzuki Bass Book 1, ribbits are introduced in the song Perpetual Motion. In George Vance's progressive repertoire, it's introduced in Moto Perpetuo by Paganini. It's also used in later songs like the Webster Scherzo, Russian Sailor's Dance, the Van Gogh's Scherzo, and others. Here's the first phrase of Suzuki's Perpetual Motion, played with eighth notes. And now, for each note, I'll play a ribbit. I start dead, play the ribbit, and go back to dead, but I also do one extra important motion. And this is the secret to increasing your velocity. Right after I play the ribbit, I put down the finger for the next note as quickly as I can, while my right arm goes dead. This is the same motion I use in another exercise called quick and dead. It teaches my left hand to move ahead of my right arm, which is absolutely necessary for velocity. Dead, ribbit, place and dead. Dead, ribbit, place and dead. And so on. I call this type of practice practicing fast, slow. I'm increasing my velocity by practicing slowly, but focusing on a quick left hand action that moves ahead of the bow. Patience with this really pays off. So after you've practiced it for a few days, you'll be ready to join all the ribbits together into a pretty fast elbow stroke. Remember to keep your fingers, forearm, bicep, and pectoral quiet. Just leave it in the elbow. By the way, keep all these ideas in mind for next week because we'll do the same thing again in Dig It Up. So here's how we play ribbits. First, I use a quick throwing and rebound motion from the elbow, allowing the wrist to flex passively. The first note is an active throw, while the second note is a passive rebound. Keep the bow on the string at all times, even during rests. During the rests, keep the whole right arm relaxed and dead. We don't want any tense muscles between the ribbits. Before I play, I plan my recovery strategy because once I start, I don't let any mistake or fatigue stop me, just like in live performance. I know that my pectoral muscle will have a tendency to pop, so I keep my attention on keeping it relaxed because if it's relaxed, it increases my endurance, velocity, and clarity. Also, I know that it takes practice and conditioning to relax my body after a fast burst of notes. I know that better conditioning lets me relax faster. So if I'm slow at relaxing my body, I trust that it'll just get better over time. Okay, ready to play? Let's go. Ready, go. and that is ribbits. Here's a couple of orchestra excerpts where ribbits, for me, are specifically helpful. Basically, any excerpt with fast dotted eighth notes and 16th notes. The act of keeping my arm dead between ribbits has been so incredibly useful here. I developed two sayings that I use all the time when I teach these. Relax on the dot and shift on the dot. Those are reminders to me to return my right arm to the dead position and get my hand in position quickly. Here's a bit of Symphonie Fantastique and how I practice it. Here's a bit of the last movement of the Dvorak C Major Symphony, practicing slowly with ribbits. I have a useful rhythmic trick I use here. I play and feel this as if the 16th notes are on the downbeat. It won't mess up the rhythm for the listener, and it helps me relax on the dot. We'll revisit all of these concepts in the next episode, Dig It Up. So don't worry if you don't get it all today. This concept is the Swiss Army knife of concepts and will most likely be in your consciousness as you go through your practice for the rest of your life. It certainly has been in mine, and I hope that you and your students like it. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you find ribbits as useful for your performance as it has been for mine. I present this in the way that I've used and benefited from it. I never intend to say that it's the only way to practice or approach this concept. You can adapt these ideas to your style of curiosity, conditioning, or teaching. Practice this and all exercises in this series in short, stolen moments, or incorporate them into your regular conditioning routine. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and leave any questions, comments, observations, success stories, or suggestions below. Please check out the incredibly useful exercises series of workout books, available in paperback and ebook on the Amazon site in your country. I look forward to you joining me next time. Thank you, and be well, friends.